Hi guys, it's Angel from MakingBabyTaylor, and today I'm going to talk to you about menstrual cups. Alright, these have changed my life. I am not exaggerating. Okay, maybe a little bit. But seriously, let's face it, our time of the month is pretty unpleasant, but I'm going to talk to you about something that's going to make it slightly less so. So menstrual cups. There are several different brands available on the market in different sizes, so it's definitely not a one-size-fits-all approach. But when you find the right cup for you, it really can make a huge difference in your life. Not only in terms of convenience factors and also reduced costs, but also increased comfort. Now I swear to you, ever since I've switched to menstrual cups, not only have my periods gotten shorter and lighter, but they've also gotten considerably less painful. I actually have more cramps when I use tampons than when I use my cups, and they also feel just more comfortable, you know, where they belong. But Angel, aren't they super gross, you ask? Well, I mean, again, let's face it, any of the products available for menstruation are gross. I don't find it any more gross than the alternatives. Pads are just gross to me. They're uncomfortable. Tampons, you have to pull it out and you gotta wrap it in the toilet paper and put it in the trash, so you're getting pretty up close and personal with it anyway. No, I don't flush them. You're not supposed to flush them. You can clog your toilet or your septic tank or something like that. I'm not really sure. You're not supposed to flush them. So it brings me to the cup. So it's pretty simple. You take it out and you dump it in the toilet, and you either rinse it out or wipe it out and put it back in. More on that later. So I definitely find it easy to use and not very gross at all. I find them to be more effective. After a short little learning curve, I pretty much never leak with a cup, and I do often with tampons. And like I said, I have way fewer cramps when I'm using the cup. I'm not really sure why that is. Over time, it'll save a lot of money as well, because tampons are not exactly cheap, and having to buy something month after month after month versus once every several years. If you take good care of your cup, it will last you a very long time, because most of them are made out of medical grade silicone. Now, how do you take care of it? Isn't it gross to reuse? So like I said earlier, when you're dumping it out, you just need to rinse it out. Just water is usually fine. If you want to use like a very mild like baby soap too, you can do that. And then at the end of my cycle, I boil it in water for about 3 minutes, and that sanitizes it for me until I need to use it again a month later. But what about being in public? Isn't that embarrassing? Well, here's the thing. I've been using a cup for 3 years now. I have literally never had to empty it in public, because I don't have to empty it as often as I have to change tampons, so that's part of the reason. If you're in public and you find that you do need to empty it out, like I said, you can just use toilet paper, you can bring a baby wipe. Some brands also sell wipes specifically for menstrual cups, where you can wipe it out and put it back in and clean it more thoroughly later. Also, some of the lesser expensive brands, you can own more than one at a time. After you dump it out, you can put it like in a Ziploc bag in your purse or something and put in a new one. So you can do whatever works best for you, but it has literally not been an issue for me at all. Now, in terms of cost, it really is a wide range of cost. There are some very inexpensive options available on Amazon and eBay, and then it ranges up to about the $40 to $50 range. So it depends on what you're looking for. They also vary a little bit in terms of materials. Most of them are pretty squishy, but some of them are a little bit more firm. And there's also quite a range of sizes. Many of the brands have a 2-size system, including well-known brands Diva Cup and Lunette. One of the brands I have is an inexpensive one called the Moon Cup. Now, before you freak out, these are brand new, so no getting squeamish. So the Moon Cups are usually found online, like on eBay, and they have a 2-size system. This is the small, and this is the large. Typically, the small size is for women who have not had a full-term pregnancy and are under the age of 30, and the size 2 are typically for women who have had a full-term birth, whether C-section or vaginal, or are over the age of 30. That does not always hold true. After I had Kaladin, he was a C-section, but he still was a full-term birth. I still needed a smaller size in all the brands that I used. Now that I have had Kerrigan, it really could go either way. As you can tell, there's not a huge difference in size between them, both in length and in diameter. What happens with me a lot is sometimes the bigger sizes are too long and I need something shorter, and that's where I really love the brand Maluna, because they have so many sizes. They have small, medium, large. They have like shorter versions where they might have the bigger diameter but still a shorter length. They have various different materials. Some are a little bit springier, some are a little bit softer, and they have a whole bunch of different options for the stem that comes in the bottom. They have like a ball, they have a ring, you can buy one without a stem. So with Maluna, you're much more likely to find a cup that will completely fit your needs all around. So for me, I can get away with the smaller size. I just need to change it a little bit more frequently than I would if I used the larger size. And the larger size, while comfortable and more comfortable than a tampon, is not quite as comfortable as the smaller size. So how do you use it, Angel? Is it really hard? Well, like I said earlier, there is a little bit of a learning curve. So we'll take you a little bit of practice to get used to the process. I do definitely recommend that you wear panty liners for at least the first few days, if not first couple of cycles, until you're sure that you have the hang of it. Because once you have a good fit, then you should not really have leak problems as long as you dump it out frequently enough. So to start off, I definitely recommend emptying it as often as you normally would change tampons until you get a good feel of your flow and where that time difference is for you. For me, on my heavier days, I can go about 8 hours, and on my lighter days, I can go about 12 hours easily without it getting completely full. To put it in, there's various different ways that you can fold it up and to insert it. The way that I prefer to do it is to do it into a C. Then you just take that and, so after you put it in, you're going to grasp the bottom and you're going to spin it a couple times. And as you do that, it's going to unfold and create that airtight seal for you. If it feels uncomfortable, it might be a little bit too low. If you're still having problems with discomfort, there's a couple of tricks that you can try. One of those things is to cut off the stem. Obviously, you want to be careful and not actually cut into the cup so that it'll leak, but I cut off almost the complete stem, and you're still able to take it out easily. More on that later. Another thing that you can do is turn it inside out and use it that way. Same thing, you would still fold it up, and the same process. Now, Angel, how do you take it out? Pretty simple. So you're going to reach in. Again, you're not going to have to go real far up there. It's kind of right there. You reach in. What I do is I kind of pinch it just a little, and I kind of turn it as I pull it out. It usually comes out really easily. And you definitely want to do that pinchy thing first. Doing that, it's going to break the suction. If you still feel like you have that suction there, you might have to reach up a little bit further to break the seal up a little higher. So you break the seal, kind of twist and pull out, and then I just dump in the toilet. In my previous home in Virginia, there was a sink literally right there across from the toilet that I didn't even have to get up to reach. So it was really easy to rinse it out before I put it back in. Now I have to kind of go into an adjoining room to rinse it out. When I'm in the comfort of my own home, obviously that is not a major issue. And then I just sit back down, put it back in. Another great thing about cups is, unlike tampons, you do not have to have a complete flow in order to use them. So if you think that your period is coming soon and you just want to be on the safe side, you can always put this in. It's not going to hurt you to have it in without having any kind of flow happening. And ditto on the back end of your period, if it really tapers off, you can continue to use this even if you're just spotting, and it's not going to hurt anything to do that. That's one of the major benefits that I personally really enjoy, because I do experience a lot of spotting on both ends of my cycle. Now this is the lunette. As you can see, it is pretty similar in design. It's a little bit more firm. So you can see how much it squeezes. I'm putting the same amount of pressure on both of them, but this definitely feels thicker and firmer than this one. Most cups come with a handy little drawstring. This is the lunette. This is the moon cup. It's a nice way to store it in between cycles. So again, like I said, after I'm done using it, I clean it, I sanitize it by boiling it, and then I put it away in the drawstring so it's ready to go when I need it next. Just like how tampons are touted, where you can still do all your regular activities, including swimming, you can do all those things with a cup as well. I have never had one spill on me, ever. So I know for some women, the thought of it sounds really strange, but I promise you, if you give it a try, you will most likely love it. I personally love them so much. I will never ever ever go back to any other options. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative. Let me know down in the comments below if you have any other questions or comments. Thanks so much for watching. Bye! Hey Kaladin, my precious boy. Today you are 4 years old, and I find myself wondering where the time has gone. It felt like yesterday that I finally got to hold you in my arms, so sweet and brand new. Before we knew it, we were bringing you home, and then you grew and grew. As much as I wanted to kind of slow down so I could soak up those precious moments, instead it seemed to enter warp speed, and now here you are, not a baby anymore, not even a toddler. You're a big girl, just like you were like me. And you amaze me every day. While we read you a story.